Baba says that we children must offer Bhog to Baba. And sometimes, when children come to Gyan, they become very logical and intellectual. And then, as we know, that Baba doesn't eat the Bhog that we offer because Baba is Abhokta. Yes, so Baba doesn't eat or drink anything in this world. But we still offer Bhog. And we must offer Bhog to Baba in everything we eat. Even if I am drinking a glass of water, I must first remember Baba and offer that glass to Baba and then drink water. And what is the logic? Because you see, when we become very, when we don't use our heart, we just use the head, then we ask this question that when Baba doesn't eat Bhog, then why do we have to offer Bhog? But you see, in most things in life, if you use too much logic, then all the magic disappears. And we have a relationship with Baba in Sangam Yuga. We are in a very practical relationship with Baba in this confluence age. And I know that whatever I have surrendered to Baba. And I have made this bargain that Baba, I have removed my I and mine from everything that I have, from the body, mind, wealth, relationships, time, thoughts, everything. And I've surrendered it to you because I understand that that's the best way to be. Because when the Almighty is there, then you don't use this consciousness that I can use my resources better. Yes, obviously when the Almighty is there, then what do? You surrender everything to Baba. And Baba says we have a bargain here that when you surrender when you surrender something to the bank, then they give you, multiply it with interest and give it back to you. So Baba says here, when you surrender all your resources, I multiply them and then I give it back to you. And I give it back to you in such a way that for 21 births, you live in a world which has everything. You see, Satyuga is described as a world where there is nothing unattained. Aprap nahi koi vastu. Nothing unattained. And Baba says, in order to have this world, have ownership of this world, you need to fulfill your side of the bargain. You need to surrender everything to me. And when you understand Baba, recognize Baba, that whatever you offer to Baba, Baba only multiplies and gives you, then what do? You completely surrender. And when you completely surrender, then nothing belongs to you. Then the food you eat is coming from Baba's treasure store. Yes, it is Baba's Bhandara. It's Baba's kitchen. It's Baba's treasure. So you're eating from that treasure because you've surrendered everything. And when you eat from that treasure, then would you not first offer to the one who is the owner of the treasure store? You have to offer it, right? Let's say you are living with parents, and if they are doing everything and you are eating from them, then the practice is whenever you take something and eat, you first ask your parents, do you also want this? And when they say yes or no, you first give them and then you eat. That's the relationship you have with somebody who owns something. And Baba says that when you surrender everything to Baba, then you don't have ownership over it. You first ask Baba and then you do the thing. So when you've surrendered your body, then you first ask Baba, Baba, what I'm going to do with this body, is it permitted by your Srimad? Now Baba gives all directions in the Murli. So you check from the Murli whether what you're deciding to do with the body, or eat with the mouth, or do with your wealth, or do with your time or mind, is it permitted by Baba? And if it is not permitted, or if you don't understand whether it's permitted, you ask the teacher. In your case, you ask me whether this is Baba's direction or not. And then when it comes to eating from Baba's Bhandara, when you're drinking water, when you're having a fruit, when you're eating something, you first offer it to Baba and then you eat, because Baba is the Malik, Baba is the master, Baba is the treasure store owner. So you never eat without offering it to the one who owns the treasure store. So this is why you offer Bhog to Baba. It's not because Baba eats or not, but you have to offer because you are eating from Baba's Bhandara. So this is something that we have to understand. And you see, when you offer anything to Baba, then what does Baba do? Baba fills it with purity and power. So you see, that's why what you get in Satyug is very pure and powerful. So here you offer your body, here you offer your wealth, your mind, your time. And in Satyug, whatever you get is a pure body, powerful body, pure mind, powerful mind. So this surrender is the best method to change all your, redundant assets into something very worthy. But this relationship, and Baba always says that this vyapar, this give and take, this business with Baba is only done by those who are very wise, because you need to have a very good vision. You need to have a long-term vision to be a good businessman. Do you know that businessmen have to be far-sighted? What you invest today and what you get as a return in the future, that has to be very clear in your awareness for you to invest in something right now. And Baba is called the Saudagar, Ratnagar, Jadugar. So Baba is called the businessman, the jewel merchant, and the magician. So when Baba is called the businessman, then Baba says, I teach you how to do business with me. And this surrender and this business means that when you are eating from Baba's treasure store, then you first offer Bhog to Baba. And in the center we have this practice that all 3 times whenever the food is prepared, we offer Bhog, whether it is breakfast, lunch, dinner. We never accept anything without offering Bhog to Baba first. And then even if you are eating a fruit or having a glass of water, you don't just drink a glass of water or have a fruit. You do it in Baba's remembrance, because that's something you are taking from Baba. That's a prasad. So you have that value for that prasad and eat it in Baba's remembrance, drink water in Baba's remembrance. So Baba says this. So now you understand why you must offer Bhog to Baba. And then Baba today says that the sign of a yogi is that a yogi will be cooperative with body, mind and wealth, and with thought, word and deed. So Baba says, if you are a sahiyogi, then you are a yogi. Because you see, God is what God says and what God does. Yes, so if you have yoga with Baba, if you have yoga with God, then you must definitely have yoga with what he says and what he does. Because Baba is not some physical human being with whom, you're just sitting and chatting and eating and strolling and, wasting your time. No. Baba is the Supreme Soul. Baba is my father, teacher, Sadguru, and the way Baba communicates to us is with his directions. And if I don't have yoga with his directions, if I don't do as he says, then I don't have yoga with Baba. So Baba says that I'm here for a task, and I'm here to create a world of purity, peace and happiness. And if you do not cooperate in my task by becoming pure and by helping in this whole, task of creating a world of purity, if you're not cooperative, then one cannot say you have yoga with Baba, because you are not in consonance with his aim and objective. Yes, so Baba says that when I have come, so you see, Baba comes and Baba creates this yajna, this whole setup, this institution where there is Madhuban, there are centers, and then through all the centers and through the headquarters, Mount Abu, this task of creating a pure world full of peace and happiness is being created. And Baba says that every child has a duty to cooperate in Baba's task through body, mind, wealth, thought, word and deed. And if you don't do that, then obviously you don't have yoga with Baba, because you don't have yoga with Baba's task. So Baba says that don't think that, Baba is just a point of light and, I just have to remember Baba. But when you remember Baba and your intellect opens up, when the locks of your intellect open up, then you get this awareness that I have to do as Baba says, and I have to give my life for the purpose for which Baba has come. And if that is not entering the intellect, then you don't have real yoga, because yoga means the intellect will open up and these things will make sense to you. Yes, and let me just give you an example. So you see, these days, you see in the world also this is happening, that children, they say we love our parents, but then whatever the parents need or whatever the parents think is their purpose, they don't cooperate with that. Yes, so I remember, there was this one Mata and she said that I had fever and I couldn't cook, and my daughter just, she ordered pizza and she ate, and she didn't even ask me whether I want to eat something or not, or she didn't even come and ask me whether I need medicine. And she said, I don't understand what kind of children are they. So you see that a relationship is very practical. It's not just in your head that you keep thinking that I love Baba, I belong to Baba. No. If you belong to Baba, you love Baba, then what is the sign of that? The sign of that is that Baba has left his supreme abode and he has come to this impure world. For what? For creating a new world. And if you are not cooperating in the creation of that new world, then do you have really love and yoga with Baba? That's a question mark. Because if you do not attach importance to Baba's task, if you don't become a right hand, then it is questionable whether you understand Baba or whether you have any love and yoga with Baba. So this is something else. The second thing that Baba tells us. And then you see, Baba has given us the knowledge of the Kalp Vriksh. So if you have forgotten the Kalp Vriksh, because you see we do the course, and those of us who take the course, who teach others, they remember the pictures very accurately. But if you don't remember, just take out the picture of the Kalp Vriksh today and have a good look at it. And you see, in the Kalp Vriksh, Baba has, very clearly given us the knowledge of what happens at what time. And Baba says that, just like in the world, you have this 1 year cycle. And in 1 year, you have 4 seasons or 5 seasons, depending on which country you live in, or in some countries there are 3 seasons or something. But when you live in this world, then everything happens according to time. So there is a season for everything. You cannot grow rice in every season. You cannot grow mangoes in every season. So there is a season for everything. And Baba says similarly, in this world drama also, there are seasons, everything happens according to time. And Baba gives us the full knowledge of what happens at what time. And in the Kalp Vriksh, we have on the vertical axis time, and on the horizontal axis the religio-political history of the world. So whatever happens at different points of time in the world, that is depicted in the Kalp Vriksh. And you see, when you look at the Kalp Vriksh, if you have it, you can just, pull up and see. So in Satyug, you have from Satyug to Tretayug, there is one single trunk. And you have one religion, one language, one kingdom in Satyug. And for those 2 ages, Baba says, when there is the rule of Sri Lakshmi Narayan for 8 births for 1250 years, only Lakshmi and Narayan rule the world. So in those 1250 years, nothing else happens. There is not even the Chandravanshi Rajya. There is not even this Rajya of Ram Sita. And then for 1250 years, you have Sri Ram and Sri Sita. And 12 pairs of Sri Ram and Sri Sita, they rule the world for 1250 years. And then Baba says, then starts the branching. And that's the time the different religions come to the world. And you see, until that time, no other religion is there in the world. And from the Copper Age, the founders of religion, they start coming. First comes Abraham, then comes Buddha, then comes Christ. Abraham comes just at the end of 2500 years and the beginning of the Copper Age. And then after 200 to 50 years, Buddha comes, and then after that Christ comes 2000 years back. So Baba says this is how different religions keep coming. And when the religious leaders they come, the founders they come, then all the souls that belong to that religion, who are waiting in the soul world, who have not come down until now, they come after the founder of their religion comes down. And then the religion expands. And you see, similarly, there are other religions also who come, like Sikhism starts, and then the Sannyas Dharam starts, and then the original religion that Abraham founded is transformed into the Muslim religion after some years. So all these things happen, and you see the tree keeps expanding and growing, and branching starts happening. So that which was a single branch, it further starts getting segregated into different branches. And you see, whenever division happens, then things lose their power. So you see, if something is a whole and you break it into two, then the power also which is contained in it, which will reduce to half. So similarly, you see, with the advent of religions and with the expansion, the power keeps reducing, and the tree also, it keeps expanding, and it becomes, very impure, it becomes very disorganized. And then here, the ones who are in the deity religion, they also change into Hindu, and they also start, getting depleted. And then there is at the end the time for God to come. So up until that, there are religions that come, there are gurus that come, prophets that come, but the illness, the sorrow, the unhappiness in the world keeps increasing, it doesn't decrease, because nobody is the remover of sorrow and bestower of happiness. Nobody is the remover of illness. Nobody is the teacher of yoga. Nobody is the fulfiller of the aprons. So Baba says, nobody is the purifier. So Baba says, all these praise is sung just for me. I am the one who is the purifier. I am the remover of illness. I am the remover of sorrow. So until I come, and I don't come until the tree expands and becomes completely dilapidated. So Baba says, I don't come until that time, and I come only at the end. And then you see there is the root, and in the roots who is sitting? Shiv Baba the seed, and Brahma Baba Mama, and we children, we Brahmin children. And Baba says that root depicts the Sangam Yug, the confluence age. And when I come, I remove the sorrow, I remove the illness, I fill you with power and purity, and then again you lay the foundation for that single trunk, that world of happiness, peace and love. So Baba says, this is the knowledge that I give you. And you listen to many other things in the Shastras. For example, they will tell you that God came in every age, or God came and spoke the Gita in Copper Age. Now, if that happened, then you see God is called the remover of sorrow, bestower of happiness. God is called the purifier. God is called the one who establishes the new world. Then why is it that despite God coming in every age, why is the world changing from copper aged to iron aged, and why didn't it change to golden aged? So Baba says you have to think about, now use your own intellect and decide for yourself whether what I am telling you is right or what you have heard until now is right. And when you discern and decide that for yourself, and you have faith that this is the only confluence age in which Baba comes, and until Baba comes, Baba's duty cannot be performed by anybody else. And Baba says, I am the one who removes you from sorrow and takes you to happiness. I am the one who releases you from all illness. And you see that Baba today gives an example that there are people in the world who say that I am in complete happiness. And when you ask them, is it possible that you never fall ill? So they would say, yes, we fall ill, but then the illness is in the body and the soul is pure. But Baba says, no, the soul does everything through the body and the soul suffers when there is illness in the body. So Baba says, I am the one who frees you from all the illness, all the unhappiness. And that is not a very, when Baba says, I remove you from sorrow and take you to happiness, that's not an intellectual idea that, you are a soul and you're free from sorrow and you are free from illness. No. Baba says, I take you to practically that world where there is no sorrow, no illness. Because if there is illness, if there is, situations outside which are unfavorable, then the soul definitely suffers because of that. But Baba says, how do I release you and relieve you from this illness and sorrow? By first taking you to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is that everything that is happening outside is because the soul is riddled with the 5 vices. So Baba says that when the soul becomes affected by the 5 vices, lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, then all the illnesses and all the problems outside start happening. And that's why, because the soul is the one who created the problem by acting under the influence of vices, that's why the soul has to suffer what it created. So that's why Baba says that now I give you the wisdom, the intellect to understand where the root of the problem lies. And you see, when you see a tree, yes, which is getting affected by pests and stuff, and you don't understand that the root and the seed are underneath the ground and they have to be watered and taken care of so that the tree develops strength, then what happens is you just keep curing everything on the outside because you have no knowledge of the seed and the root. And Baba says, similar is the condition of this human world today. So we think that the illness and the unhappiness is because of situations and environments and problems outside. And we keep curing that. You are trying to decrease the pollution, you are trying to eat healthy, you are trying to do other things to alleviate your sorrow. But Baba says those things are not working. They work for some time and then they don't work. Why? Because you're not working on the root. And Baba says that the real problem is Ravan, Maya, the 5 vices. And the interesting thing is, you cannot see Ravan. You have to understand Ravan. And you have to understand that these 5 vices, they are the ones who are the reason for all the sorrow and the illness in the world. And you see, these days doctors are saying that physical illnesses are psychosomatic. They say that it's the effect of the mind on the body. But how can you keep the mind peaceful and calm when you have ego, when you have lust, when you have anger inside you? So Baba says that you have to understand that the root cause is this lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. And do you understand the 5 vices? Because you see, do we understand the thought, the word, the act that Maya makes us do when we are under the influence of these 5 vices? For example, take an example that somebody says that I am doing everything and there is no surrender to God. Then that is a form of ego. But people in the world will say that's self-esteem and that is not ego, and they would say that I'm self-made. But you see, those people who say we are very self-made, they are suffering a lot. Yes, and at every point, they are suffering because they think that I have toiled and sweated to make whatever is, made today. So they are suffering with this consciousness of I. But do they understand ego? Because the world is very confused between ego and self-respect. The world is very confused between love and attachment. The world is very confused between greed and ambition. The world is very confused between lust and, an expression of love, because people think that lust is an expression of love. So Baba says, do you understand Ravan, or are you also confused like others? Because when you have clarity about what is lust, what is love, what is attachment, what is greed, what is ambition, what is ego, what is self-respect, if you don't know what is humility, what is ego, what is self-respect, if you don't know how to distinguish between these virtues and vices, then you will not be able to discern how Maya is cheating you. And you will not be able to free yourself from sorrow, and you will not be able to free yourself from illness. So Baba says, you cannot see Ravan, just like you can't see Baba. And you have to understand Ravan. The more you listen to Baba, the deeper your understanding of Ravan becomes. And you see, this is a path where gradually you start understanding the vices and differentiating between virtues and vices. Because in the ordinary world, we don't know that difference. And then we have to understand Baba also. And the more we have yoga with Baba, and the more we discern Ravan and win over that urge to act under the influence of vices and do everything on Srimad, then we will be free from sorrow in this world also. And then in Satyug, we will go to a world where there will be practically no sorrow, no illness. So Baba says, I am the only one who comes only at the confluence age and does this task of removing sorrow and illness from this world. So you have to have that faith that this is the only time that God comes, and whatever you have heard until now about God coming in every yuga and other things, you have to discern whether that makes sense to you or this makes sense to you. Okay, Om Shanti.